What's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary on this beautiful Thursday, April 10th. I am in the mindset of helping you get prepared for entrepreneurship this morning, my friends. And this is really important. I'm going to give you throughout this episode 5 things that you need to do to prepare for entrepreneurship. 5 things that you need to do to excuse me, to prepare for entrepreneurship. I sort of envision entrepreneurship a little bit like uh, getting ready for hurricane season, and I live in Florida where, hurricanes are the norm. Okay. And so becoming an entrepreneur is a lot like preparing for hurricane season. You want to prepare for the worst. You want to expect the best, of course. But if you're not prepared for entrepreneurship, if you're not prepared for owning a business, then there's a good possibility that you're going to be caught by surprise. And if you get caught by surprise in a hurricane, then you're liable to lose your life. And if you get caught by surprise in entrepreneurship, you're able to lose your dreams or your goals or the things that you're the most excited about. And I don't want that for you, but even more, you should not want that for you. And my focus is to make sure that I'm prepared for all of these ups and downs that no doubt entrepreneurship is going to bring. Owning a business is going to bring things that you didn't expect. And so I'm going to give you, again, 5 things right now, fast, that you need to be focused on if you want to prepare for entrepreneurship. First and foremost, you've heard this before, but I want to redouble down, triple down, quadruple down. You need to have a clear and a compelling vision for what you're doing here. Okay. You need to not just understand how to swing a hammer. Excuse me. That's the beauty of going live. You get all the sneezes and the sniffles and the oohs, ahs, ums, and everything in between. So back to number one, you need to have a clear vision. You need to have a compelling vision. Why do you need to have this? Because you need to not only be able to motivate and inspire other people to want to do business with you, but you also need to stay motivated and inspired yourself. There is nothing worse than a business owner or an entrepreneur who needs somebody to constantly motivate them to be in business. Okay. We run into this, and I've run into this in the last 16 years more times than I care to count, to where somebody comes in and they want to learn skills. They say they want to learn a business model, but what they really need is constant, ongoing babysitting and motivation. And there's no way to fix that within somebody. If your constant challenge is, I'm not motivated in my business. I'm not, I'm burnt out, or I just lost my momentum. If that's your ongoing challenge, you're not ready for entrepreneurship. You're still struggling at step number one, which is having a clear vision for yourself, a compelling vision for yourself. You essentially need somebody to you're looking for a boss. You're not looking to be a boss. Okay? Who's with me? Comment boss down in the comments if you're picking up what I'm putting down. You know that I'm going to give it to you real. You know that I'm not going to pull any punches. You know that you don't hang around here. You don't pay me. You don't pay my company. You don't invest in our training or show up to our lives or events for me to blow smoke up your ass. So if you need motivation, if you need constant babysitting and somebody to kind of be there to, push little Johnny and little Sally along. Hey, forgive me if your name's Johnny or Sally. Hey, come on, it's time. Let's get fired up. This is not T-ball, guys. Okay. In T-ball, I coach my son's T-ball team. Man, I'm telling you what, it is a chore. Not only am I having to develop their skills, but I also need to keep them from digging in the sand. And this one's hungry, and this one wants a snack, and this one wants to lay down, and this one's tired. And honestly, a lot of the adults that I've worked with over the past 16 years are no different. They're just no different. They're looking for a boss to kind of hold them accountable and sort of make sure that they show up. Not a mentor, a boss. There's a big difference. I'm going to get to mentorship here in a second. Okay. A boss doesn't encourage you most of the time to think, at least most bosses that I've either encountered or hear about. They just want you to do your job. They just want you to listen. Just listen, just do your job, just don't ask questions. A mentor is not going to do that. A mentor is going to get you to think for yourself and to train and prepare yourself to be a business owner. Okay? So you need to have a clear and a compelling vision. You need to clearly define what you want to accomplish inside of this business and why it actually matters to you. Okay. You need to understand what your core values are, what your passions are, what your purpose is for doing this. And if it's your family, but you get mad at your family or frustrated with your kids or frustrated with your wife or your husband or whatever, and because of that, one day you don't want to work on your business, you don't have a compelling enough vision. It's okay if your family is not your reason or motivation. It's okay if it's just for you. It's okay if it's just because you want to feel better, you want to have money, you want to go on vacation, whether they want to go with you or not. I'm sure they do. But do you get what I'm saying? You can't always do something for somebody else, because if they piss you off, then all of a sudden you won't do it for them anymore. You have to do it for you. You got to do it because you want to feel better about yourself. For me, I was a homeless junkie. I wanted to see my story through. I wanted to make it so the things that I had experienced and overcome weren't just for nothing. I wanted to do something so my sobriety and my recovery and me working so hard to try to get out from under the world, I wanted to get on top of the world so I could feel like the hero in my own story. I'm not looking for a hero. I don't need somebody with a cape to come in and save me, and neither do you. You need to be your own hero. You need to be your own hero in your own story. And you actually need to be motivated, inspired by your own story. Okay. Next, number 2, you have to build essential business skills, my friends. You have to build essential business skills. Now, I know we're called Legendary Marketer, but there's a whole lot of other skills that we encourage and teach. Okay. Yes, you need to learn sales, marketing, financial management, basic accounting. Yes, you need to, if you're in business or want to be in business and respect it as a business and feel legitimate, be incorporated. You need to understand, you need to have a business bank account. You need to have a business credit card. I've gone over this in masterminds. I've gone over this, multiple times here on the show. I've published videos out on my Instagram and so forth about it. You need to have a business bank account. I have a business bank account. I have a business American Express Platinum credit card. And I have one credit card for business, one credit card for personal. And I put all of my expenses on those credit cards and pay them off at the end of the month. Now, obviously, maybe you're putting stuff on credit cards and you need to spread that out a little bit over time, but you need to understand the basics of accounting and how compounding interest works to make sure that you're not just paying an interest payment every month. And if you are, you need to get on that. You need to consult with people. You need to figure that out. You need to figure out how to get that debt either paid off and on a lower interest rate. You need to make sure that you're not commingling your expenses from your personal bank account paying for your business expenses. That's potentially going to come back to bite you down the road. Get with a certified public accountant. Get with a CPA. Invest in some basic accounting knowledge. You can get a lot of this just on using AI or potentially finding it on YouTube. I always am hesitant to refer people to YouTube because it's a rabbit hole. But honestly, just in the last 5 minutes, I gave you what you need to know. it's basics. You need to have a basic profit and loss sheet at the end of the month to where you've got how much you made on the top, your expenses in the middle, and your net profit, either loss or gain, down at the bottom. So you actually know where your business is, right? Actually know what your business is producing or losing each month. Because if you have a loss at the end of the year, here's what you guys don't understand. If you have a loss at the end of the month, or excuse me, at the end of the year, you can actually write that off and you can harvest those losses for future years. Get with your public accountant on this, your private public accountant, whatever, your CPA. Get with them and figure out what's the basics. Okay, what if I have a losing year this year? Is it the end of the world? How can I leverage those losses in the future? What if I have losses this year, but I have gains in something else? I sell a piece of real estate. I did this back in 2022. I took my stock portfolio and I moved it out from under a manager because I was tired of paying his fees for him doing nothing. And then I sold real estate for a profit. So I had losses in my stock portfolio. The market had dropped. I had losses, and then I had gains in the real estate transactions that I had made. And I offset those by waiting at least 30 days to reinvest back in similar stocks, which is sort of a wash period. This is all basic knowledge if you know what you're looking for. And then I rebought my stocks in the period. I didn't just rebuy them immediately. I waited. It's 30 days, I believe. You have to provide a wash period. You can't just sell something and then rebuy it. In which then I harvested those losses, all with the guidance of a professional CPA. And again, what's that guidance look like? Just having a CPA that I pay that does my taxes and my bookkeeping, and then I just am able to email or call them. That's all it looks like. It's not a mystery, guys. Okay? So you need to be building these essential skills. Put skills in the comment if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Put skills in the comment if you're picking up what I'm putting down about number 2, building these essential business skills. Thank you, Peg. Beautiful, Melissa. Glad to hear it. All right. Number 3, understand your target market, friends. Conduct thorough market research. All right. Clearly identify who your ideal customer is. This does not mean I confuse scrolling with market research. Okay. This means that I'm on purpose about it. This means that I'm using nowadays a combination of AI and my own thumb to scroll through, to watch, to fully immerse myself in my market. Let me tell you something. If you want to sell to moms who have newborn babies, just start following people who create that kind of content. And within a couple of weeks, you'll be fully immersed, getting that stuff all over your timeline. And you'll be able to, dig through comments. You'll be able to see what other content creators are creating. And you'll be able to understand that market faster than you ever have in the past. In the past, I'm going to tell you something. Understanding your target market requires digging in to understand their pains. And in order to do that, so we're surveying people, we're talking to people on the streets, we're emailing and digging through customer lists. To get inside of people's heads back, 10 years ago was like finding a needle in a haystack. But nowadays, because of the algorithms, if you just create an account on Instagram, for example, and do nothing but go through and like pages and interact with pages on that particular topic, you will have more market research and more knowledge about that market in that one Instagram account than, marketers had and advertisers had 10, 20, 30 years ago and could compile in 12 months. You also can use AI to help you to understand who your target market is. You also want to identify and analyze your competition, or again, other creators, other people who are at the top of that market or even in the middle of that market, because in order to make money inside of a niche or a market, you don't have to have a new idea. You just have to have a new approach, a different personality, something that sort of helps you to stand out a little bit differently. The way to win in any market is just honestly to come in and do it better than other people. And that's ultimately your goal. But at first you come in and just be different. How do you be different? You don't have to do anything to be different. You just come in and actually consistently create valuable content that people will begin to watch and to follow. Number 4, you need to build a strong network if you want to prepare yourself for entrepreneurship. You need to have, just like a hurricane, man. I'm going to go back to that analogy that I used at the beginning of the show. I prepare for hurricanes the same way that I prepare for entrepreneurship. And a lot of the people down here in Florida do the same thing. What does that mean? Well, when a hurricane comes, a lot of times wood runs out at Home Depot and Lowe's and all the hardware stores. So it's good to know people who you may be able to get supplies from. It's also good to know if there's going to be a direct hit. It's good to know people who have other properties in the middle of the state so you can go with them to stay safe. Gas, food, my neighborhood. Some people chose to stay here. So they, before the hurricane, went around to see who else is staying in the neighborhood. Hey, it might be good to be friends with somebody with a high house, a 2-3-story house. If you're in a 1-story house. So in business and entrepreneurship, you want to surround yourself with mentors, advisors, peers who can provide guidance to you, insight, support for you. Okay? Join entrepreneur communities. This is one of them, of course, but stay plugged in. We're doing this Project 100X challenge right now. Are you like fully immersed in that? Because there's been so many people from the challenges, both the challenge courses and also the challenges that we've done inside of our groups, where we've just had people posting content and challenge them to push themselves to do more over a period of 30 days. This one happens to be 100 days. Are you all in on that? Or is that just like boring to you? Is that just another thing that you could take it or leave it? I'm too busy scrolling. I'm too busy doing this. Because there's a lot of people who are going to change their entire lives from taking this Project 100X challenge. You won't see it right now, just like you don't see the benefits of preparation before the hurricane hits. You don't know who you're going to need and how it's going to pay off. You only see that after the hurricane hits and you realize how devastated you are. And the same thing happens in entrepreneurship. There's so many opportunities. Right now, we've presented you guys with several. And if you don't take advantage of those, you're not going to realize what you missed out on immediately. Only when you see somebody who is at the same place that you are right now, who's in a totally different place 90 days, 6 months down the road, and you're still in the same place. That's when you're going to realize the devastation of not taking action and being a part of a strong network. That's number 4. Build yourself a strong network. Come to a mastermind. We've got a mastermind that's happening. Mark this on your calendar. Get ready to get your ticket. We're just locking in a few final details, locking in a few final speakers. We've got a mastermind coming up in Nashville, Tennessee, September 5th, 6th, and 7th. Come to that mastermind if you want to be completely transformed, not just mentally, not just emotionally, not just with skills, but also with a network. Also with people, one person that you will meet who could provide you both friendship, support, insights, somebody that you can call, your new best friend, your husband, your wife. I don't know. I know that I met my girlfriend in this industry, in this business. She worked for me. Maybe your first employee. So you have no idea what you're going to discover. Who's going to come into your life? You got to show up. You can't make excuses. You can't, say that you're doing it for your family, but also let your family dictate you got to be the leader of your family, male or female. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you at least have to be the leader of your own life, and you have to know what you want. Again, going back to number 1, have a clear vision for yourself. 5, perhaps this is the, come on. Perhaps this is one of the best ones, most important ones, right? Right, Miki? Right? It's to prepare financially and emotionally. It's to prepare and have a realistic financial plan, including how you're going to fund your business and sustain yourself during the initial stages, right? Tell them, tell them, tell them, little baby. Tell them, little baby. Oh, no. Tell them what they need to do. Tell them right there in that microphone. Tell them what they need to do. Yes, they need to prepare. Prepare financially and emotionally, my friends. Have a realistic plan. Cultivate that mental resilience that you're going to need. Prepare for setbacks. Prepare for uncertainties. Okay? Foster a growth mindset within yourself. Embrace your failures, not as failures, but as learning opportunities. And make those learning opportunities prepare you for something bigger and better inside of your life. But prepare both financially and emotionally. Because you know what? Shit's going to happen. Shit's going to hit the fan. You're going to be tested. I promise you that. All right, my friend, that's 5 things to prepare yourself for this journey of entrepreneurship. Okay. Thank you so much. I know my furry daughter is adorable. Thank you so much. She knows it too. All right. Kim Ballum in the house. Thanks for a great episode yesterday. Of course, we are getting down and we are getting crazy inside of our Project 100X Challenge, which is our official Legendary Marketer Affiliates group. Now, we've, of course, given our affiliates a challenge to create 100 pieces of content a month over 100 days. And I'm going to put that link right down in the chat. It's facebook.com/groups/Legendary Marketer Affiliates Official. It's our official Legendary Marketer Affiliates group. Of course, we have a regular Legendary Marketer group for all of our clients. We have a business blueprints group for our blueprints clients. But this one's specifically for our affiliates. And it is a place where those who are our affiliates can sort of gather, network, learn. Of course, Kim has been facilitating and leading so much of that training. We've got stories and videos that are being posted in there of other affiliates and their kind of journeys and what they're doing. And so, and kind of how it's changed their life. And of course, our goal is to go out there and take our message and bring it to other people, get them to understand the power of developing these skills and starting a business online. We've been doing this now for 8 years, my friends. A lot of opportunities, businesses, education, things have come and gone. Legendary has and will continue to stand the test of time because what we're doing is needed in the marketplace. It always has been. It always will be. Everybody is forcing their students and people and our kids into a one-way track for factory worker mentality. And our goal is to help you to prepare for and not only prepare for entrepreneurship, which is the heartbeat of America, but it's also to introduce you to different opportunities and help you to understand how to leverage not only really powerful marketing, sales, and business skills, but also at this point now show you how to leverage things like artificial intelligence and so forth. And so get into our training, get into our community. We'll see you there, and we'll see you back tomorrow, of course, as always, for another episode.